Hello everyone. Once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And today we will be starting our journey again one more time into the Cybersecurity Foundation course. I want to welcome everyone into the our Cybersecurity Foundation course. So people are continuing, I think, from a very long time with us, and we were on the domain 3 offensive side. So today will be the day 6 of offensive side, and overall this is the day 20, and we will be carrying on our journey with today with the malwares itself. Okay, so let's just go ahead, jump in and try to see what will be the agenda for the day. Let's just go ahead and let's just get started with the our domain 3 one more time with the offensive security basics. So today will be day 20 of this our cybersecurity foundation course, and in short this is going to be the your particular, I would say, day six of the your day six of your offensive side, right? So now what we are going to try over here is we'll be going ahead and we'll be starting with the whole types of malware and everything, right? But before we go with that, so today's agenda is clearly in the screens. Introduction to malware, types of malware, creating a malware, introduction to a malware analysis in overall. Now we will be just going ahead, and before I start with this whole journey of the malware, so let me just make it very clear. We are talking about the malware, so most of the things that you are going to see here is going to be the theoretical part. Okay, now we'll be discussing that from the theory point of view. And if someone will be interested in more learning about the malwares, so you'll be seeing that there is a clearly a branch, or we can say a sub branch of the cybersecurity, which is going to be the your analysis, malware analysis itself, right? So that will be dealing with the more of similar kind of a scenario. Okay, so again, as I was saying, that we have to go ahead and we have to do the bit of the discussion on the your uh, malware side itself, right? So in the malware side, before we go with that, let me just get started with the bit of a recap that what we have learned in the past few uh, you know uh, past few days. That was the last week. So what we have done there, we started with the pen testing, if everyone remember that what is pen test, why it is required, all that kind of a thing. Then we move into the your information gathering, right? Your reconnaissance, information gathering, the different way of doing it. We talked about the scanning, right? Then we were doing the your enumeration. Then we were on the your particular uh, scanning enumeration, and then we were having the your first access, or we can say exploitation. Okay, first access, or we can say exploitation. And then we were seeing there privilege escalation, and then there was the journey towards the clear your tracks, right? So this is something the last week we have done. So we were talking about why pen testing is required, what is the goal of the pen testing, the different it's different phases, factors, all these kind of things we were talking about, right? The different phases, what you need to do, how it is different from the vulnerability assessment. Then we were seeing that there are going to be the, steps to a particular pen testing, which is very similar to how an attacker would be attacking you. That is going to be very similar to that. Now, there was few additional steps because our motive there was not only going and compromising something, but also our goal was to get the data and present a report so that you can know, your organization can know what is some problems, vulnerability with them. Now, we started with the first step, that was the information gathering. So we heard about, we were seeing tools like Netcraft, okay, search engines, use of the search engine with the Google Docs, people search engine, Shodan, Netcraft, who is, these things we have seen, OSINT framework. Then, once that was completed, we moved towards the scanning part. And in the scanning part, we have seen what is the goal, doing something like, different scans, Xmas scan, and then using the Wireshark, capturing the packet. I was proving my point that yes, whatever I was telling you, that's, actually happening in the backend. Then there is going to be the your enumeration, which was regarding the finding the more detail, like which version of the, if port was open, which service is running in that. That was the task of the scanning. If 21 was there, it is running the FTP service. That was the task of scanning. Then which version of the FTP it was running, banner grabbing, that was the part of enumeration. If you grab a banner, then you can search for that, is there any known vulnerability for that particular version, for your target or not. And then you, if there is any, you find that yeah, there could be something that could be used for the exploitation, then you were going ahead and exploiting those services over there. So we have seen Metasploit framework in that particular part, and then we were using that, exploiting it, gaining the access of the system. Okay, then we talked about the last day about the first privilege escalation, that if you were getting the, you are getting the access on the system, but you are a normal user who is having the ID like 48, right? Only this. So what you are going to do, you try to become a root user and get yourself the ID like, your 0. And if you have seen, if you remember, we were doing it with the, there was eternal blue which we use, and we were trying to get the Windows machine also we have. I was showing you the one machine academics. It's only the privilege escalation part to give you the idea that how things they happen. And then with the machine itself, like that Windows XP one, I was going and I was just showing you that how you can go ahead and clear your tracks, right? Remove everything from there. So that is something that you can do. So I was telling you that there are some third party apps as well, and on that day I was just fumbling on the names as well, if you remember. Okay, so there was the Metasploits frameworks, direct module which can clear these things, Linux commands which can clear the your data from there. So this was something that what we have learned throughout the last week. And today we'll be starting and discussing the malware. Again, I am telling all the attendees over here that today you will be seeing our topics because they are important from the point of view of offensive, right? But we can't show everything in the fundamentals itself. So right now our task is to give you the fundamental knowledge. Okay, so we will try to give that, and today like here as well, we regarding malwares, sniffing, you will be seeing bit more on the theory heavy sessions is going to be in there. When we'll be reaching back to the some web application and all, there you will be seeing demos again being included in the picture one more time, right? So this is something that what we will be having on the whole as a whole over here. So this is clearly I'm just indicating in the very beginning. So today we'll be talking about introduction to malware, type of malware, creating a malware, and introduction to a malware analysis. So these are going to be the our part over here. Now, okay, so what we are going to do is we will be starting with the malware. Now, first of all, types of malware I am starting. What we are going to be doing very first thing, okay, uh, that is going to be the discussing about the malware. Now, when we are talking about the malware, one thing that we have to keep in mind, malware is your, we can type it malicious and software. Okay. Now, when we are talking about the software, software is what? Line of code, right? Simply what it is, collection of the line of code, simply LOC is what we call. So even if you are writing one line of code and it is giving you some output, some result, that could be also software. Now, malicious means when you are creating that particular software, you know, your intentions were up to no good, right? In simple as that, your intention was not good over there. So what it is going to be known as now? Malicious software, and in simple term, malware. Now, malware itself is a very big umbrella. Let me tell you, like, someone was writing virus. So I can say virus is type of your malware itself, right? So a simple thing we can say like this. Malicious code is undesired or unauthorized software, or simply the malware which will be placed into the target system or into your system so that it can disrupt your day-to-day operation or to redirect the system resource for the attacker's benefit. Okay, so in the past, if you will be going and reading some case study and all, you will be finding that there were multiple malware which was able to go ahead and you know disrupt the whole organization, and disable any operating system or application or force any target system or network to slow down. Okay, so what it will be, so more recently the malicious code attack, they try to remain hidden on the target system, and what they want to do, they want to take advantage of your capability for their advantages. Like there is something like a crypto malwares as well. So there are different kind of crypto malwares. So one type of crypto malwares, what it do is it will be using your processing capability to go for the Bitcoin digging, right? Mining of the Bitcoin. So that kind of a thing also sometime attacker they will try to do, utilizing your resource for their advantages. That is also something that is going to be in there. And most of the time, what is their goal is going to be the kind of denial of service, right? Disrupting the your network, your day-to-day activity. This is something that they want to achieve onto general basis as well. So this is going to be the overview or the idea of the your you know malwares. So they will try to your resources for their purpose, or they will be seizing your resources. So that is going to be the your malwares itself. Now they can also use those malwares to create backdoor on your system, stealing the data of your system, stealing your personal information, business information, even for simple things like advertisement as well, right? Extortions nowadays also going with the malwares. So all the different kind of the act can be done with the malwares itself. And that's why I'm saying there are different, why I'm telling you, there are different form of the malware that is going to be in there. So they can have a number of work that they can do over there, right? So that is going to be the malware for you. So if we will see that what okay, so directly we are starting with the type of malwares. So here you will see a heap of the different type of malwares that is going to be in there. Now, one thing that I want to say, because few people were writing the virus, so I want to start with this term. So when you are hearing this term virus, so what you think? It's simply a term, or does virus has a full form? Vital information resource under siege. So now what you are getting the idea regarding the virus over here. So your important information systems are under siege, means they have been taken control by someone here. Okay, means someone has seized the control of your resources, and now let's say that if that resource should have worked at the 100% capacity, it is only working at its 20% capacity. You can't utilize your resources properly. That is going to be in there, the very basic regarding this virus. So almost virus and worm are almost similar. There is very small difference between them. Okay, but yes, first I wanted to start with the somewhere like very familiar territory that everyone heard about the viruses. So that's why I wanted to start here. And something that you need to think about a malware, you always not going to think that they will be creating backdoor or making your system slow or those kind of thing. It could be any kind of a virus and any type of a things they can do. Even they can, obviously we know they can corrupt your applications, corrupt your data files, system files. Even not only that is the attack, that is also like, you keep getting the pop-ups like for the ads, some messages on your screen. That is also a malware, right? So this is, you know, uh, you know, this is something that you will be looking for these kind of a thing, right? So these kind of things will be there, and they have the different creative ways as well. Like a very common one, which I am seeing nowadays with the mobile phones. So you will be going ahead, and there will be an ad which will be saying that your mobile device name, your mobile device this X Pro, it is under the your virus. Please click here for more, right? You'll be becoming very curious that what it is, and it will be it will be taking you to the new website, and it will be telling you to download an antivirus over here, and that antivirus is actually going to be a virus. Okay, so they also will start becoming more and more, we will say, what, creative over the time period. So this is going to be different ways that how malwares, viruses, they are working nowadays. So first of all, this is the just general overview. Now, virus. What is a virus? Virus is going to be a malicious code which is going to spread from one computer system to another computer system. And how? It will be attaching itself to a file and then reach to the another system over here. So it is going to attach itself to the other files. And when it is attaching itself to other file, this process is called your self-replication. Okay, it is called your self-replication. So when you are doing something like self-replication, so virus, this for virus, this self-replication process, it is not going to start with the your unless there will be a human trigger, right? Human action that is going to trigger it, right? So unless there is going to be a human who is going to click on a file, run a file, till that point, it is not going to start the process of self-replication over there. And this is very important thing to understand about the virus. So those kind of the human action could be like, opening the infected email attachments. Okay, someone send you a mail that, you have got yourself a license for the, what we can say, some sporting events final. You click on that and you fall for it, and now that starts self-replicating process that is going to be in there. Now, this code will be start executing at that, attach the file and start doing self-replication and start attaching itself to the different files as well, very frequently, right? So what they will do, they will be doing one thing, they will be attaching themselves, but one thing, that virus cannot travel over the network. Now, what is happening when you are putting something like a pen drive or anything? Now what happened, that become part of the system. Now it can replicate itself over that USB drive. Now you put that USB drive, take it to the another system, and if you have features like autoplay enabled, so it could have run that particular file, and what will do, it can start self-replication process, and it will start attaching the files onto the other system as well. Okay, so this is going to be in there. Now it can do a number of things. It can corrupt the file, it can destroy your data, right? It can start self-replicating its nature. So it could be opening the lot of file and making your system unusable. So this is there, that is going to happen, right? And almost it was the estimation that billions of dollar every year in the industry is due to the virus itself. Okay, category of the virus itself over there. So this is going to be in the your viruses. Now, virus and worms, they both are similar. Okay, so worm is a malware, just like virus. It is itself, it replicate itself across the infected system. But there is a difference, that it doesn't require any human interaction to start this self-replicating process, and nor does it attach itself to any other program or file. While the virus, they tend to interfere with the function of a specific machine, right? Like utilizing their system and running and consuming their RAM and all those kind of a thing. Your worm is going to be intended to interrupt your network capability. So worm is going to target your network capabilities. This is targeting, virus is targeting host. Worm is targeting your networking capability. Okay. So its primary function is just to spread. Spread means it is doing self-replication and spreading through the network. It can, replicate itself through the network as well. So just, in the whole network, it just want to go ahead and network and consume the things like your network bandwidth. Keep spreading, keep replicating, and consume the network resource as much as it can, so that it can consume something like network bandwidth, which will be resulting into the something like DOS attack, system unavailable, network is down, that kind of a thing over there. Okay, and using this thing, if worms they are carrying any payload, what those things can do, they can turn a computer into the remote zombie, right? It will spread and giving the network connection to the attacker. An attacker now can use the target system as a zombie, means attacker is going to control that particular system, and from that system further attacks your attacker can launch. So if there was in many of the certification exam, there was the question that what is the difference between virus and worms. So the biggest one is, for starting the self-replication process, worm doesn't require any of the human interaction itself. So that is going to be the one thing. Now, when we were just talking about the, one scenario. Okay. So we were talking about a one scenario here that, your system will be telling you that multiple time you might have visited some website which is saying that your device is having, which device is, like you have seen multiple things that on your system, like your device is infected with a virus. Okay, click here for more details. So that example that I was giving you, what it was a hoax, right? It was just giving you, making the situation a bit panicky for you, so that you will be clicking on it, you will be falling for it and working with that. So that is going to be the your hoax that will be working like this, giving you the fake assurance over there. And hoax can be used with this something like, your adwares. So there are two brothers. One is the adware and another is the spyware. So adware, if you might have seen, a lot of ads popping up. I remember very specifically when we were moving from 2G to 3G, right? So earlier, what was happening? The 2G was having not that much of a good speed. So when we were in college and we start seeing that 3G a good speed, so what happened? Just that curious case of the some student, you can say that we wanted to experience it firsthand, and we were very happy with that, and we go ahead and you know having some tricks, and then we were downloading some movies and lot of softwares. So I wanted to run like a premium version of the Acrobat Reader and your Photoshop and everything. So people go and look on the sites, places like torrent. Okay, so we were downloading them and without even running anything. I just want to, because we were becoming too much crazy, like very good speed, 100 Mbps, and we keep clicking here. And what happened is we keep installing lot of the different software which keep popping up the ads on our notification centers here, right, left, different places. Why? Because we simply saying keep agreeing. So what they do, they start sending you annoying ads, play this game and all those kind of a things. So there is going to be the fake adwares, fake ads. There will be the, means frustrating you as well. And, like I was giving the example of why this one, that your device has been infected with the virus, download our antivirus. And when you click on that antivirus, it is taking you to where? The actual, why making you to install the actual virus itself. So that is going to be the something that we need to be aware of as well, that these things also exist in the different scenario over here. Now The brother I was saying was the spyware. So when I was giving you my personal example that we keep installing different software, so we got installed multiple time, there is what? Spyware is specifically going to work with the browsers. Okay, stealing the data from your browsers, okay, that is going to be the work of the spyware. So you multiple time go ahead and install some extensions by clicking on next, next, next onto your browser. Once you install those extensions, they could be a spyware. Now, what spywares they generally do, they will be stealing your information. They can grab your cookies, send it to their owner. Even they can steal the your stored password as well. Okay, that's why it is not safe to store the password on the browser as well, right? So they can, they will be keeping everything, your cookies, your history, they will be looking at everything. So even if you are not storing any password over there, so they're like your history, what you like, what you dislike, that can be shared. An attacker can create an attack on based of that. Like, if you are working in a sales team, you will be keep looking for leads. You will keep looking for the email address. Now, attacker know now that what you are looking for, send you a fake mail that we have a database of the 500 potential customer. If you want, please connect with us and start pursuing the people. So this is going to be the your spyware. Now there are like people are asking, so we have the last pass and all. So yeah, as compared to browser, the your password, keylockers, these kind of things are much better. Okay, like even keychain service, that is also a good one, right? So your services of which is specifically to storage, that is much better than storing it in the browser, because those things can be stealed by your particular spywares itself. Okay, that is going to be the one thing that is there. Okay, so adware and spyware. Adware is giving you the annoying ads. Spyware is stealing your data, right? Data collection, history, personal information, banking, financial information, username, password. Okay, so that is going to be the over there itself. Now, another very popular category here, I think everyone has heard about the Trojan. You might be remembering the story from where this thing it actually popped up, right? If I think everyone heard the story of Troy, right? That what happened was there was a city of Troy who was kind of where you can't just win that one, right? They have a pretty good one, security all around their uh, city, and they were having very good citadel and everything. So what they did, they put, Greeks, they put the fake horses over there, right? And in that fake horse, they were hiding the soldiers. Okay, so they were hiding the soldiers inside that, and what happened was once they were hiding the soldier. So, first, your people they think that okay, they were unable to conquer us. That's why they have it as a gift. So they place that wooden house inside the your city, and at the we can say this around the stroke of the midnight, they just go ahead and simply came out of that wooden house and simply open the gate, flood the enemy inside the city, and conquer the city. Right? So same thing happened here is a Trojan. So Trojan will be a normal looking file, a normal looking program. Okay, let's say I think many of you will be very habitual of playing this game like chess. Okay, so there was a time between 2008 to 12 when one Trojan was being spread with this chess.exe. So people wanted to play chess with the system, right? CPU versus you, who is more intelligent. So what happened is that people they were downloading a game, but there was another file which was hidden behind this file, and that was the your Trojan. So this is the Trojan. So this is a normal, pretty normal looking file. So a harmless file, it will be hiding a particular malware inside it. So when you are installing this malware or this game, with this you are also installing the malware as well, right? And what this will do, there is the category of the Trojan, which is the RAT, remote access Trojan, right? So that is what that is doing what it is giving the backdoor access of your system, right? So one of the very famous backdoor system is going to be the dark comet, right? This was the one of the your backdoor rat which was giving you. So what you are going to have, a Trojan will be a normal file, and what it will do, it will be just giving the kind of the backdoor access. So they are not replicating themselves, or neither they are attaching it to the any file. Instead, what they are doing like installing themselves or hiding themselves in your system to remain undetected, and just kind of uh, exfiltrate latest data as as much as possible, right? So Trojan is malicious content hiding in an otherwise normal looking package. And when a user download kind of games, even screensavers, okay, they will be work as expected. There will be no issue with those programs. Even many time I have seen people try to do, earlier, till 2018, people, many of the people, even my friends, they were trying to download the Word for free, or Office for free. So what they are doing it from the third party website, already activated one. This increase the chance of installing the your malwares into your system. Okay, so this is going to be the few scenario that you need to keep in mind, that do not go and download any unofficial file. Okay, the file which you do not trust, do not install them over there unless it is from the official vendor. So these kind of thing you have to keep in mind itself, and it will be giving the backdoor access to you. Now, first thing that I have written over here was the keylogger. Now, right? So keyos, first thing you need to understand, a keylogger could be your hardware base as well and a software base as well. So software base is very hard to detect, right? So keylogging is doing what? It is going to record your keystroke over there, recording your keystrokes and then sending it to its master. So means whatever you are typing, your identity, when you are authenticating yourself, so all these things can be stored at a very specific time over there, right? So software and the your hardware base both are there. So that's why in many of the offices there is a policy that if you are using a public network, okay, what is going to be in there is uh, you know you have to check that between your keyboard and between your CPU port, is there a USB kind of a device? Okay, USB pen drive like of a device, is that something like that, that is in between? That would be a hardware keylogger. Software is very you know tough to have detected over there on a public system. That's why it has been asked you to avoid the use the public your resources for something like official work. Okay, so this is something that, yeah, can happen. They're recording every key that you press. So what do they can steal? Your personal informations, identity, whatever you are typing, usernames, password, banking, or whatever. So because what will happen? You will be searching for something in the URL, right? Like your bank. You type your bank name. Okay. Then they will be going ahead, and next thing they will be asking a username and password. Obviously, first thing you will be typing will be a username. Then there will be a password, which they will try to get as well, right? Maybe you are using tab, like I have this habit. So this is what they will be doing. They will be just going ahead, you are typing, you press tab, and that means username is completed, you are going on to the next line, and that means everything is being recorded over there. Okay, and that's why on the banking sites, if you have seen, there is going to be always the option of using the virtual keyboard. So every time, and this is my habit as well, that whenever I'm using that kind of logging into my net banking or anything, I always try to go with the your virtual keyboards itself. So it will be just physical keyboards. Its keystroke is going to get recorded as well. Okay. Now, okay, this is one. Now, what apart from these things? So there is ransomware. I will be talking into the okay. So two more category which I have written here. Actually, there are more than that as well. Okay. So first, some other categories as well, which is, I haven't highlighted over here. So I was thinking of, directly discussing them in this, session itself. So there are other categories as well, like someone, I think in the message I was reading, they were writing something like logic bomb. Okay. So there is going to be the logic bomb. There is the bot botnet as well. Okay. So the key host and key grabber. Okay, someone is asking the key host and key grabber. So key host, is going to be the hardware. Okay, like this. If you're searching for the key host, it will be something like looking like a pen drive, right? A connector. These kind of a device, it will be over there, which will be recording your key log, your keystrokes. So this is going to be a keylogger that is going to be in there. Okay, so you can see the design diagram, these things over there. Now, we were having some other categories as well, like logic bomb, botnet as well. That is going to be the part of it. Now, what is going to be the logic bomb? Logic bomb is, you know, I always say that compare this to the some, things we heard like the time bomb. So logic means when you will be giving anything. So let's say that when this thing happen, then it should execute, right? Means what you are having, bomb should be triggered, right, at a specific moment. So when it should be triggered, you will be defining it. Like, there was a Sony hack case scenario. So they also there they use something like a logic bomb. So they were having this, like, they wanted maximum people to see the message. So what they did, once they complete the hack, they put a message for everyone, and they waited like almost at 10 or 11, everyone will be the office. So as soon as clock hit 10, every single display which was infected, they start displaying a message that you have been hacked by Guardian of Peace, GOP. So that was the logic bomb task. So it will be whatever you will tell it to do, delete a file, run a message or anything. It will do that at a specific moment, at a specific event that is going to trigger that. Okay. This is going to be like that. Like whenever, if you are using a laptop, whenever you are going to put your laptop on charge, then it should go ahead and exploit. So something like that will be the work of the logic bomb. Then there is going to be the bot and botnet. Okay, bot is something that is commanded and controlled by someone else. Okay, so this will be a system. Attacker, what they did, they install a kind of a rat over there, remote access Trojan. Now they are controlling it. So they are going to send the instruction what to do to the system, and it will be the bot. Now, similarly, when you have the collection of the compromised bot, and usually you will be seeing that people, what they do, that, they will be having, these all will be having one manager, right? Like this controller which I was talking about. Now, the collection of the compromised system or the collection of the bots will be known as the botnet. Okay. Now, these are the some few other things that is there. Similar to that, there is one more malware, that is the ransomware. Now, this is very common. Okay. So every day you might have heard some news regarding the ransomwares. Okay, so I think again there was some news today as well regarding the your ransomware. Okay, so one company, I think it affected earlier, one in the recent memory, one of the very famous example that I am remembering, one which is very popular, one case which is very popular, that was the WannaCry ransomware. Okay, very popular, means in 2017, if I'm right, this happened, and this was the kind of concern for everyone. Why? If I will show you this thing, remember, yes, last session I was talking about this vulnerability. I showed you this as well, how to exploit this. Okay, MS17010, right? This was the one. If you will open this, this is the Microsoft Security Bulletin. Okay, so name that was given to this one, that was the Eternal Sunshine, Eternal Blue, Eternal Romance, different name it goes with, right? Now, many of the IT company, non-IT company, wherever the systems was, okay, they are going to go ahead and they were affected with this one. Almost the very big amount of industry was affected by this particular vulnerability itself. So why? If you will see, it was affecting Windows XP, you know, Windows Vista, Windows Server 2008. It was also affecting Windows 7. It was also affecting your Windows Server 2008 R2, Windows 8.1, 8.1, 7 will be also there, Windows 10, Windows Server 2016, server code installation option. So up to that time, different servers, service packages as well, you can see. So at that time, your, uh, you know, uh, at that particular time, what happened was people, they were not that much aware about the ransomwares. So this one, what it did, it goes ahead, take the advantage of this vulnerability, and as you can see, almost every window version presented at that time, it was vulnerable to this particular vulnerability. And attacker, they took advantage of this situation. So what they did, they go ahead and they were dropping the keys onto the target system. Okay, they were dropping the keys on the target system, let's say via the some email. Now through this vulnerability, they were downloading those keys onto the system. Once they were downloading the keys onto the system, they were encrypting all your file, every file that is in that system. Now that key, they were sending it back to the CNC network. CNC means command and control network, means to a botnet, to keep it safe. Now, in the whole that file, next day you will open your system, you will see that all files are compressed into the one place, and then there will be a notepad or an image which will be saying that we have hacked you and we have all your data which is right now in encrypted format. And if you want to get your data back, you need to do is you pay us some good amount of ransom. Okay, so this is what you have to do, and it hit industry billions of dollars at that particular time, right? Because almost everyone was infected or was vulnerable to this particular your uh, vulnerability at that time, and that's why this WannaCry become a case study in the ransomwares. Now recently, I think last year itself, if you have heard about the Colonial Pipeline. Okay, so Colonial Pipeline in US, what they did, they capture the all the data over here. And because after WannaCry, companies, they become very much aware. So the best solution against the your ransomware is your backup, having the backup of the data. And now uh, you have to make sure that the backup where you are taking, that is also not connected with the same network or same machine or same place itself. Why? Then they will be going and making this encrypted as well, right? So this is also the something that you have to keep in things. So backup is the one of the best defense. Then there is always the your anti-malwares which will be having signatures over there. Okay, they will be having the signatures which you can detect, and you can have the alert in advanced threat intelligence sharing, all these kind of a things. There is going to be the few parts. Now you have the what they were doing, they generally ask for this. So what happened in this case was, when they hack the organization, and first they were claiming that yes, they have the backup of data, they are not going to pay any ransom, but in the end they end up paying the ransom. So this was a quite unique case of organization paying the ransoms as well. Okay, so this is the bit about your ransomwares that is there out there. Now there is something like the rootkit. So how the rootkit is going to be the bit different from the other. If I will say rootkit gives you the backdoor access. Backdoor access to any system, then how rootkit is different from the others. It is different. It will give you backdoor access, but as a root user. Root means admin user, means you have all the access of the system that is going to be in there, right? So this is something that is going to be the difference over here. A rootkit is there, and now what is there? Installation of these things are not also not easy. So what can happen is, let's say, different ways you might have to try. So you give someone the pen drive. Let's say that there were few people who are looking for the installation of the Windows 10 in their system. Now, they were trusting another person, and that person gave them the, bootable, USB stick. Okay, bootable USB stick that use this one and install the Windows 10 on your system. What that was infected version of the your Windows 10. So with the Windows 10 this time, your rootkit also installed, and what happened? Then it will be giving the my target the all the access over there. So my target, oh, so giving my attacker all the access of the things, right? So we have what? You have just put it, and you'll be getting the access as the root user. And one of the some examples you might have heard. Have you heard that there was a time when Lenovo, Asus, Acer, they were kind of people put fingers towards them. They were having this allegations that they are having the particular rootkit installed in their systems. Okay, a backdoors in their systems. So I think I remember that there was the, I think, Lenovo ThinkPad series. I think it is X1 or something that was recalled from the market. So 65,000 around your systems were recalled, and the reason they were giving was the heat. But actually, a few days ago, there was a report that there is a backdoor install in there. Now, the reasons that come out with it was because sometime people, they are bit annoying, to when they are talking with the customer care, they are bit annoying. So they were having the intention that you know their customer care executive can have direct access of their system, gain the access, and then simply sort the problem out to make the task easy. But if you will place something like this in your system, there is a highly chance that someone can take the advantage of this and get the access of your system as well. So that's why they need to recall it, and specifically again, those is the series your that is that no that is going to be used in the corporate environments. So yes, there was a lot of the noise during that particular time as well. Okay, so these things need to be over there. So there is the rootkit which is used in a particular manner or particular way itself. That how it is. So first of all, I'm just showing you these major area over there. Okay, so this is just the major kind of the types of malware that is going to be in there. So I think I have just explained everything over there. So I have already made the slides for this. So I will be just going ahead and discussing one more type. Okay, so keylogger, so that we can discuss the points as well. Okay, keylogger is a type of software or hardware device that record every keystroke made on a computer or a mobile device. Okay, now, it can be used to monitor the activity of user, including their password, credit card number, and other sensitive informations. Then we have ransomware. So ransomware is type of malicious software that is designed to deny access to computer system or data until ransom is paid. Okay, the ransom is typically demanded in cryptocurrency such as your Bitcoin to make it difficult for law enforcement to track them. Okay, then The virus, okay, same thing. A virus, a computer virus, is a type of malicious software that is designed to replicate itself, spread from one computer to another. Like a biological virus, a computer virus can infect a computer without the user's knowledge or consent and can cause damage to file, program, and the operating system. Okay, so these points, okay, again, if you want to see, same thing we have discussed, keyloggers, same points, right? It can monitor the activity of user, including credit card, password, okay, software and hardware device that record everything. Then there is going to be your ransomware. Ransomware is, which is, we were just discussing this, asking for ransom. Pay me some good money and I will give you the your key back. Virus, we were talking about the self-replication process with the human interaction over there, right? Then there is going to be worm. Worm is a type of malicious software that can self-replicate and spread from one computer to another through network connection without requiring any action on the part of the user. So unlike virus, worm do not need to attach themselves to a program or file in order to spread. So they just simply use the networking capabilities of there to go ahead and work with that. Now, apart from that, Trojan virus, right? So Trojan, again, the name is pretty much famous. So we will be talking about this. So Trojan is going to be known as also the Trojan horse, which is a malicious software that disguises itself as the legitimate program or file in order to trick user into installing and executing it. Once it is installed, a Trojan can carry out a range of harmful action such as stealing sensitive data, installing backdoors over here. Now, there is going to be the rootkits. So for the rootkits are the malware which are designed to hide the presence of a malware as well as the activity of an attacker on the infected system itself. Okay, then hoax. So a computer malware that trick user into believing their computer is infected with a virus or other type of a malware while it's actually not. So like this one. Okay, these ads you might have seen multiple times. Okay, so these hoax malware, they typically work by displaying alarming message or pop-ups that claim to have detected a virus and other threat on your computer or the system. Okay, then there is going to be the spyware. So spyware is a malware which is designed to secretly monitor and collect information from a computer system or a mobile device. It is often used to steal personal or sensitive information such as password, credit card detail, or other private data. So this is something that we have already, I think, discussed a lot of the time itself. Now, now we will be going ahead and we'll be talking about creating a malware. So there are some examples that you are seeing over here. So this is something that you'll be like creating an exe to disable a virus. Disabling virus we'll be creating, which will allow you to make something like viruses, which will make what? Which will make sure that your exe is not being working properly. Then that start several programs and consume your resources. We'll be seeing that as well. Okay, so these kind of a scenario is going to be the whole things that we'll be seeing moving ahead, right? So first of all, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to start with the your first of all, if you want to do something like this, running a malware or create a malware, I will always suggest do these kind of a thing on your virtual environment. Do not directly jump into the somewhere like your real-time environment and then later regret that why I would have run this thing in the my real environment. So try to avoid this situation, okay? Because foolishly multiple time we do this thing and later make ourselves compromised over a number of places itself. So this is the one thing. Now, if I will do what? There, if you remember, I was having the Windows. Let me just use this one, XP. So, I have having this XP folder over here. So what I can do is I can either, so what I'm going to do, let me just go ahead and in here, let me first of all create a new text document 101 virus 101 and okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to run it. And yeah, my screen might be a bit small. In this file, what I'm going to do is I was actually trying to increase the size, but I'm gonna go ahead and start with the very simple things. So a malware can do a number of things. Okay. So here, like, what is going to happen is this is not supporting this particular format is not supporting over here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use and something like, I'll be creating a, okay, options you might not see, but yeah, font could, you can easily see over there. Okay. Font size I can increase, but the whole, other things might not be that much visible. So here we'll be starting with your very first, let's just close this one. Okay. So I'm going to start with a very simple. So a virus could be anything. Okay. Now virus could be just someone annoying you, right? You are working and suddenly a message pop up on your screen. Okay. That could be also just like the adware. So for here, what we are going to do, we'll be typing something like this message asterisk and then hi, hi, I love you, darling. Okay. Something like this. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, a message like this could be there. I'm going to click on save as text, all file, and here I will be giving it the name, the first. Okay. And save as your, all file I'm doing first dot bat. Okay. And click on save, right? And just close this one, right? So I created a virus and created a batch file over there. Now, what it will do, if this will be run on your system, it will be giving you a message. Okay, so like I have written that message from administrator, like this. Okay, simply disturbing your workflow. A very basic like this could be the work over here. Now, what other things it can do over here? Not a very good thing, but if you have to understand the working of this, I can keep clicking add it over here. Okay, or again I can open this thing or I can type the few more things about this one. Okay, like I can go ahead and I can start a CMD which will be start giving you the lot of random numbers. So what I will do, I will be going with this something like this. Let me just quickly, rather than typing the lot of random numbers, just simply use this something like this. So a lot of randoms I am typing. Okay, color 02 echo off echo random, some random number will be generated. Okay, then what I will do, I will create, go to A, and here I will put A at the top. Okay, so I will put my A at the top like this and file, save as your second. Oh, okay, so just a sec. I forgot to give the extension file, save as second dot bat. Okay, here. If I close this one, so what it will do, it will just simply start running random numbers on the screen. And what is happening? Multiple time I have written random, so it is going up to that. Then what it will start doing? It start, just repeating itself because there was a loop. Go to A.
right? So what was happening? If you will, again, I will show this in the edit. After this is the whole thing. You will be going all this place, these random numbers I have generated. Then I'm saying go to A. A is again over here and you starting a loop, right? And it just keep registering those numbers over here. So it can be start with these simple kind of annoying things. Okay, this is also a virus, which is just simply annoying you. Someone just run this thing and it just start creating this random number series over here, and you just want to go ahead and going down and this kind of thing. So very simple, a pop-up thing, and it started with this very basic kind of a thing you can have over here. Even this can increase a bit, different way. How? You can go ahead and with this example itself, again, let me just go and open this one. Let me just go with the a simple thing. If I will create a file, a batch file like this, start your MS Paint, uh, MS Paint, okay, start Notepad, start your uh, MS Paint, and what else I can start? CMD, okay, like this. And right now I'm not making it as a virus. I'm just simply going to go ahead, save as your third dot bat, okay, and save. Simple. I am not creating any malware right now. I'm just having this thing. So if I will double click, so it opened a notepad, a CMD, and a paint, right? Now again, I will edit this and same thing I will do. I will do something like go to A. Now in here, I will put something like your A. And now this will be a bit disrupting. How? File, save as your file, and third dot pat. Okay. Now I will close this one, and what will happen? You will see this kind of thing you might have seen somewhere. Like I remember from my school days when I was very curious about, playing the GTA Vice City and all. Okay. And my whole motive was come home and XP were used to be on there. And this was kind of very annoying thing. So you keep closing them, they will keep getting opened. Uh, you can't just simply close them. Okay, and you will see error, notepad error. Because what it is doing, it is just consuming the my resources. So I can't just close them, work with the here. So a number of things are happening. Okay, 46 paint. So it will be consuming my memory. So memory operation fail. So if I'm closing it here, so I'm just kind of stuck over here. So what to do? Okay, there is, yeah, like this. Okay. Oh, and I should have done one thing actually. Okay, so one thing I should have done, I should have changed the password, but no worries. To get out from here, what I can do is I can restart the system. Okay, so I can just restart the system and it will be closing everything. And as you can see, it is trying to close that. What is happening again? Because it is closing. When you are restarting, it is closing those programs because it want to stop. And now as it is stopping, that program is running, it is opening more and more file, more and more file. So what is happening? Restart is also not working properly over here, right? So what we need to do is I will go ahead and do the power off, power off, forcefully terminating this machine, right? So this is something that is consuming your resources as well. Simple as that. So again, we can restart the system now, reboot it. Okay, so we are at the administrator page over here. Hopefully this is the password. Okay, this is not the password. So now what I have to do, that's why when you'll be installing a new fresh installation, you might need to go ahead and you might need to revert it back to with the snapshot. So I have taken the snapshot. I will revert it back to the my snapshots over here. and it will be just reverting back. So I have taken the snapshot. So it is much better if I can, I have to just, I will be just pausing my screens and reverting the back to the original state over here. Okay, just a minute over here and I will be back onto the my original page. Okay, so for reverting, you need to take, when you create a fresh installation, you take a snapshot of that. And then simply you need to go ahead and to go back to that time. Okay. Now what again I have to do, I'm back here. So like here, you'll be going, taking the snapshot and revert to the your snapshot option. Simple as that here. Now I am again going to go ahead and create in the host system. This is the problem. You have to force shutdown, and I was just showing you here. That was the shutdown, and it is a problem because I forgot the password. Okay, this happened due to that I need to revert it back. Okay, and yeah, this is a good thing that you keep an image handy with you as a snapshot. Again, I will be going to the virus, and it was the I think third virus which we were creating, and I will be starting from there. And anyone who is familiar that you can change the password as well over here on the your Windows without even knowing the current password. If you got your hands on a particular device which is already logged in, even I don't try it with the Windows 11 yet, but till the Windows 10, it was working perfectly fine. So are you guys familiar with that? Okay. Means right now you are here in the system, and usually when you have to change the password, and when you have to change the password, what it simply asks that what was your previous password over there. So this is something that you generally play with as well in the multiple time. Now, if you have to change the password over there, what you can do if you don't have kind of remember it that what was there, how things were running onto this one. Okay, and even try the net user command. It will not ask you the whole thing that you need to go ahead and work with the all these kind of a thing. Okay, if not, I will show you here. Hmm. Okay, this is the one. So what you will do, you will type the net user command, right? So you'll be doing the net user. It will be giving you all account in the system. Oh, sorry, net user. Okay, here administrator, support, guest, help, all these things. Now what you have to do, you have to simply use net user and then net user and which account you want to use. Administrator. So I will type administrator and then what I need to type asterisk. Okay, now directly it is asking me type a password for the user. It is not asking me what was my old password. It is simply saying that type a password for your user. So I can type my password now. Okay, and enter, and right, and successfully command completed successfully. Now password is changed. So like right now I was struggling logging in, right? So if I will restart it, okay, font was too small to see. Don't worry. Uh, in your this one as well, in your I'm right now in window 10. There also, if you will be going with the net user command, first it will show you your users. Okay, so it will be telling you that which one you want to go with which account. So you can go with that particular one and you can see, okay, so this is the detail. If you will give the, just the name. So net user, account name, and asterisk, okay, and enter. It will be directly asking you to type a password for the user where you are logged in, right? So this is something that is there. Well, although, this is not going to work if you are logging in with the domain controller and all, where you have centralized login, domain controller. This is not going to work over there, right? So this is the one thing that you need to keep in mind. Okay, so there is going to be this thing. So net user, give you the list of the user, then you type again net user, which account you want to change the password, use that account, and then asterisk, and that's it. Okay, so that is going to be the one particular part that what we will be dealing with onto the multiple scenarios over here. Okay, so this is going to be the your whole scenario. So we'll be seeing more and more of your, you know, uh, examples now. Okay, so what we were doing, we were creating the malware. So again, new text document. Okay, so in here, so what we were doing, again, let me increase the size of the font. Like here. Okay, now what you have to do is you will be going ahead and you will be starting with the okay, so that was the one what we were seeing where your resources were keep creating. Now similar to that, what we can do is we can start with this something like this. Now I will do first off command like echo off. Okay, now here what I will do, I will be saying a again. Now I will creating the directory simply and the random. Okay, and again go to a. So you will see very interesting thing happening over here. This it is again file, save as. This is the fourth one, fourth dot bat, and click on save, close this one, and run this thing. So what it is doing, it is just, right now you are seeing nothing but some directories are being created or something like that. So we are just going to close it. I'm going to close this one. Now what you will see, random folders being created over here. Okay, so random folders being created over here. Right, so thousands, I think till now, if I'll be selecting, I don't know how many of these are there. The good numbers should be there. Okay, it is not calculating it, but yes, in just few seconds, these many folders were there. If I would have let it run, it would have consumed your resources as much as possible. And again, we would have stuck at some place where a lot of folder has been created in your system itself, right? So this is the another kind of a thing that you can do or work with. Okay. So in the meantime, let me minimize this thing. Let me go ahead and let me just check onto the something like, okay, I can open CMD easily. Great. I can go to all program. I remember there used to be games like free calls. Okay. There used to be these games like your Hearts, Solitaire, right? Different ones. So, all these things are there, and what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm not going to delete these things. I'm keeping them as a result over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on edit. Now, rather than this, okay, here, let me open this one. And here, let me just create another kind of a very simple one-liner kind of a malware. So I will do what? I will do use the assoc command, right? Dot exe equals to hack, or you can write anything, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, your name, anything. Dot exe equals to hack and file, save as fifth dot bat and enter. Okay, this is going to be in here, and this is assoc.exe.hack. So if you will see, nothing happened over here, right? Nothing happened. So what we are going to do is I'm going to minimize over here. I will go to start menu, click on CMD. It is working. Oh, I didn't run. Oh, I forgot to run this. Oh, I give the name fifth, right? Okay. So because there, this should, did I say this or not? I think I have saved it somewhere, but yeah, five, with the five, lot of other things are also coming. Don't worry, I was just trying that as self. So a lot of the other files were also coming with the five. So you can see even deleting is kind of the your scenario over here. Okay, taking its time, right? So this is something that which is not, it will be taking 3 minutes, which is a lot of a time. In the meantime, okay, so you can see how a simple one is going to be there. So again, as you can see, it kind of panicked, right? So rather than this, I would love to restart it one more time. I think it is not saved. I didn't save it properly. Not in the folder 101, but you can see when I was trying to delete those all files together. So I was keeping that for the end. Okay, now I'm logged in because I changed the password, remember? I will go back in here and yeah, when you'll be here, so you can see why I was worried about, having that fifth one towards the end. Okay, at least some folder has been deleted. This is the fifth one. Let me run this thing. Okay, yeah, so we'll be having this one. So fifth one, I hope I have run this thing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to again go ahead, check, try to open CMD. It is not being open. You can go to games. Icons are gone, right? So why this happened? Okay, so for that, what I will do now, I will be creating a new text for file over here. Okay, so what happened is I was using something like assoc dot association of my .exe file with the hack. So every time it is trying to open an exe kind of a file, it is saying that file type is your hack, and hack is not a proper valid your file type. So that's why it is happening again and again. And how to correct this thing? I will type exe file over here, and now I will do file, save as your, and give it the name patch.exe, and oh sorry, patch.bat. Okay, and save this thing. So this is the patch that we need to run now. So I will close this one, and you can see I will double click on this. Then I will go to all program your games and games they are back, right? So this is something that you can do as well if you want to. Okay. This one single line is also going to be your malware over there. Now, one last one, what we will be doing, one thing that you like me, I used to play the bit of the games when I was in the school. So lot of time faced the lot of malwares. So here again, I will be showing you something which is very, very frustrating for us. And every time I had to go somewhere and bring a new Windows CD. Why? This is something that was there. C and your attributes. So attrib NTLDR hyphen S hyphen H hyphen R and delete NTLDR. Okay, so here I'm gonna go again, save as crash.bat and save. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this one. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and click on the your this thing. So I double click on this one. So what is going to be in there is when you are running these files, right? These files, nothing happened. So last time, you were able to go and, CMD was not working, but, this is working now. You are trying to see the games will be also there. So everything is working fine. So what this virus did? So what it did, if I will go back in here and go to the power and let's just restart the system. Oh, I didn't run the bat or it is not properly created. Something goes wrong. So it should have been either at the echo of CD. Ah, hmm, everything is good. CD backforward slash C. Okay. Again, spelling. Yeah, might be the spelling mistake somewhere. NTLDR. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see this one. I type complete delete. It should be only del. Right. So file, save. That's why. Okay, only del should be there. Now I will run this thing one more time. And now power, restart and restart over here. Okay, now if you will see NTLDR is missing. Okay, NTLDR is missing. So it is saying control or delete. Okay, you will restart. So now you will try to restart it n number of time. It is not going to get restarted. Okay, so I will do the restart. Click on restart. It will again say the same thing, right? So this means you need to work with your resources. Okay, so later they change this thing, that they make it that not so easily you could be deleting these things. So with the upcoming updates, they remove these things. But this was the one of the very common one which we used to face. NTLDR is missing. This is kind of your bootloader which is missing from your system. So it can't boot the whole system right now. So whole booting process has been changed nowadays, right? And very specifically with the Windows 11. So, updates they keep pushing and, things becoming more secure over here. So you can see that how simply a particular Windows, can be corrupted the different ways. So simply, that's why I was having this snapshot so that later on, if I have to revert it back to, I will have the time to revert back to it. This one, right? So that's the other reason. So this is something that what we can do here as well, right? So this is something which we can do with the creation of the malwares itself. Now, if malwares are in the system, okay, so this was the bit of the your theory part, oh sorry, practical part, just to create the your malwares. Now, if malwares are in the system, then there is the requirement of the malware analysis. And this is the whole kind of a branch in the cybersecurity malware analysis that you can do. And I think might be few of you people is still working with the malware, right? Malware analysis, maybe. So what is malware analysis? You are going to go ahead and you are going to analyze that which malware is affecting your system. Okay, and how malwares are affecting your system. Then which file is a malware, which is not. Is there any malware in your system, in your network? That is going to be the art of the malware analysis. Now, we will be simply talking about them. Okay, we don't are going to indulge into this. This is more onto the defensive side of security. Okay, the malware analysis. So here, when we talk about the malware analysis is a process of analyzing malicious software to understand how it works, what it does, and how it can be detected and removed. So goal of our malware analysis is to gain insight into the behavior and characteristics of malware so that effective solution, countermeasure means your solution can be developed to protect against it. So this is our task. Okay, we need to understand what is the goal of this malware, what to do, how to do. Then there are four ways: static, dynamic, manual, automated, right? Although we can say static dynamics are two-phase, then both can be done either static or the your automated way is just up to you, right? So still we'll be discussing all of them separately. So first of all, there is going to be the static malware analysis. So static malware analysis is type of an analysis that involve examining a malware file without actually executing it. So you will download that file, okay, and you will be keeping it on your virtual machines. Usually you have to create the malware analysis environment. Okay, it can't be like in your base machine, in your main machine, you start analyzing it. No, if you will be running malware over there, it will be harmful. So we always create a virtual environment. So one of the most popular virtual analysis or sorry, malware analysis tool is Cuckoo Sandbox. Okay, so we usually create a sandbox. So I always suggest that if someone has to do the malware analysis, install the virtual environment, there test out and make sure that there is no internet connection directly. Else, you could be putting harm to your main system itself. Okay, so in the static, you download a file and you go to GitHub, there will be a lot of the malwares. So without even running them, executing them, you are going to analyze them. So what you are doing, this approach you are using to find out any potential threat, vulnerability by looking the characteristics of a file. Means you'll be looking into its code, its structure, its behavior. And without having to expose system to any risk, you'll be going through the line by line, code by code to analyze these things that what is going to be in there. Now in static analysis, it can give us the insight into the what are the capability of malware, what are the intention of the malware, and it is one of the very important tool in defending against the cyber attack itself. However, it is going to have its limitation as some of the malware, they might be designed specifically to evade the static analysis technique. So what they do, they will start, jipping itself. As soon as they will be finding that they are running inside, they have been downloaded into the virtual environment, they will be kind of jipping themselves. Okay, they will be compressing themselves. Okay, so that kind of the tricks can be used by the malwares as well. Then there is dynamic malware analysis, which means this time you will run that malware into the sandbox environment, means into a virtual kind of an environment. Okay, which is here it is calling the controlled environment. So it is a technique to analyze and understand the behavior of malware by observing in the controlled environment. So here you are going to run the malware in the sandbox or virtual machine environment to observe its behavior and identify the potential threat. And it can also use to identify a specific technique used by the malware to evade detection and spread itself. Okay, so that which technique they are using, right? So Cuckoo Sandbox, why I was telling that it is one of the best tool. So if you'll be running something into the Cuckoo Sandbox, at that time most of the malware will be unable to identify that they are running inside a sandbox environment. Okay, that's why it is mostly used. And as well as you'll be finding vulnerability weakness in the system that malware is targeting, right? So this will be helpful. By running the malware you will be trying to understand that what is happening. Now, very easy, that manual and automated, what will be the difference? So manual malware analysis is when you are doing, we are seeing by hand, means going code by code, right? Without relying on any automated tool. What you are doing, you want to gain some deeper understanding of malware, its behavior, threat, and its vulnerability. So you want to just go and check if there is a code. You can go line by line and try to understand that what it want to do. Okay, it is going to be a very time consuming process, you have to keep in mind, and resource intensive as well. And plus the person who is doing it require the high level of expertise and specialized knowledge as well. Okay, so in one of the dynamic way of doing it is you are running the malware, and then from the you are kind of understanding the machine code of it, assembly language of this. So you need to have that kind of the familiarity. If manually you are going and analyzing this, so you run some disassembler, okay, decoder, to understand that how this malware is running, and then you will be having the assembly codes and all, like push 5 3, and something like this is going on, that you need to understand what is this, right? So it will be more time consuming, plus the person who is doing it require more knowledge, and it may be less scalable than automated analysis technique, as it is very difficult to apply the same level of scrutiny to a large number of malware sample. So in one malware you'll be investing all your time, so when you are going to analyze other, so this is something that you have to keep in mind itself. So as I was saying, it is going to use in the conjunction with the static and dynamic analysis itself, right? Then there is going to be the automated malware analysis. Simple means you will be having, without any human intervention, you will be having a tool which you will be using to automatically analyze the malware. So it is a fast and efficient way to identify potential threat and vulnerability, and use to analyze large volume of malware sample quickly and at the scale. Then automated malware analysis tool, they typically use a variety of techniques to analyze the behavior of malware, including static, dynamic, and they may have they may use machine learning and artificial intelligence algorithm to detect patterns, anomalies, and potential your IOCs, indicator of compromises. So one of the key advantage of this is going to be the speed and scalability. You can quickly identify potential threat vulnerability, allowing security team to respond rapidly to new or the emerging threats that is out there. So these are the our different ways of malware analysis itself. So today we have discussed regarding the some basic categories of malware, how to create a malware, and the malware analysis over there.